take me back to 1999. I'm assuming that's, your first season was 2000. I'm assuming you got hired in 1999 to prepare for that 2000 season.
Summer of 99.
I mean, going into that year, you had a couple of years in Newberry under your belt, but, I guess what was your hopes and your expectations, and what did you have in mind for your time at Lenoir-Rhyne back in the summer of 99?
Gosh, who would have thought that I would have 20 plus years here? But I think the thing that stands out the most is during my interview process, some of the student athletes, and the main one was Tracy Hyman Davis, who's in our Hall of Fame, SAC Hall of Fame, all that good stuff. Her main question was, if you come here, will you win a championship with us? And so it's pretty special that first year that we did, and that's pretty crazy. And then we've won a lot since then. But that was her main question: is, are you going to win championships for us? So especially because she only had 1 year left, but we did that year. So it was pretty awesome.
And I think we got it right
we
here.
got the
2000, 2001.
First two.
I mean, it's incredible to think you took over a program that when you started was under 500, in its existence, and in your first year, you rattle off one of countless number of championships. What was that first season like, and how did that kind of help set the tone for where you ended up?
I think I got the job during the summer and was able to draw in some kids and pull in some kids the next year, and was able to recruit some student athletes that would help us. Our Audrey Cressy, also, who just went into the Hall of Fame, she was probably the first big time recruit we got, because she was coming in to pitch for us. Like she was going to go to Newberry, because I was at Newberry, and then coming to Lenoir-Rhyne. She ended up coming to Lenoir-Rhyne, but just started recruiting just good kids. We brought in good kids and good chemistry, and kind of went from there.
So 900 wins here. You got over 950 in your career. Are there any that kind of stand out above others? I know you still have your box score from your first win against Lees McRae back in 2000,
yes.
But which kind of wins here are magnified in your mind?
I think some conference tournament games. One is early when Leah Crone hit a walk-off home run. The game was at PC. I'm pretty sure we were playing Carson Newman. I can remember that. Then some regional games, like regional, super regionals, especially some really fought hard games with North Georgia, like super regionals at North Georgia, where we very easily could have went to the World Series. Then everyone talks about the Carson Newman game of regionals, probably 4 years ago maybe. I can remember us, we're here taking pictures. Then we go get hammered, got beat by Carson Newman 6-0, and they're waving us out on the bus. Hey, see you later, and then at regionals, then 2 weeks later, we beat them 20-21 to, something like that, to nothing. So
you've been able to coach so many student athletes here at Lenoir-Rhyne. You're probably at the point where some of them might not even been alive when you took this job. How have you been, right? How have you been able to kind of transition and change as a coach over the past 23, 24 years here, and then just 26 years coaching?
And they say, kids have changed, but kids still want to be coached. They want to be taught. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. And so that's what you need to focus on these days. That you care for them, and that they know that you love them, and but you have high expectations for them. And we do, whether it's on the field or off the field. That's a big key. We're talking about, I think I was telling the girls at practice the other day, you were not born when I started this job. We were joking with Talon, you were not born when I started this job. That's just, the span of the first kids I coached here have kids in high school, and they could very possibly play for me.
23rd year here at Lenoir-Rhyne. What makes this place special to you, and how have you seen it kind of change in your run?
I think the special is it's home for me. Like, I live like 20 minutes out. My mom and dad live right beside me. My sister lives in Taylorsville also. But the school is, I'm true Lenoir-Rhyne. I love it. I love my kids. I love the community. I love the area. But we're doing good things right now. I mean, look at all the facility changes, and hopefully in the next year or 2 years that we're getting our part with the new stadium. But it's a good place. It's family. It's friends. Everybody knows everybody. I can go sit in a restaurant across town and then come in and say, "Oh, you're the softball coach," or "Hey, oh, you're doing well." And even with our Bears Club and boosters, hey, you're doing it every day. You're doing it every year. But just everybody's so tight knit, and it's really nice.
What do you want people to think about, or what are the kind of the buzzwords that you hope come into their mind when they think about Lenoir-Rhyne softball?
That if they come and sit over there, they're going to see the team. They're hopefully playing well. They're all the excitement. Like, look at the home runs. Look, Morgan had a no-hitter, and everybody's excited. Everybody's standing up and giving her high fives and applauding her. But community's a big thing to fill the stands. If it's not during the week, at least on weekends. Sometimes it's standing room only. That they see a good product, and softball is, whether it's across the country or whether it's in Hickory, that softball is a growing game and an awesome game, and you should come out and watch. But when they see us, they're like, "Kids, hey, these kids are working hard. They're playing hard. They're out here to represent Lenoir-Rhyne." And we talk about that a lot. It says Lenoir-Rhyne on your chest, and people want to beat you every time, even more so than you're going to get their best game every day, and you have to show up and play hard every day.
Historically, they struggled before you got here in softball. How were you able to kind of change that mentality quickly, and then how difficult is it dealing with, like you just mentioned, getting everybody's best shot day in and day out?
I think when I first got here, just, hey, this is the way it's going to be. We're going to do this, and this on the field, and if we work hard at practice and you play hard in games, and this is going to happen. And it just escalated into winning a lot of games, and we're Lenoir-Rhyne, and we won a lot more games, and we're still Lenoir-Rhyne. So we're getting that best. We get that best shot every day.
One of the things that I notice that stands out to me about kind of your background is Wingate, Newberry, Lenoir-Rhyne. It's kind of been South Atlantic Conference through and through. Tell me a little bit about the league and what has that meant to you throughout your run?
The league is really good right now, from top to bottom. I was looking like 2 days ago, and there's only it was either 2 or 3 teams that had a losing record, and everybody else has got a winning record. And back in the day, that was not the case. You had 3 or 4 that were doing really well or had a winning record, or sometimes it was just us and Carson Newman that were doing well. But just the conference allowing softball to have scholarships, and then hiring really good coaches that want to win games and are turning their programs around. I think that's a really key too. And then talked about how softball has grown over the years in North Carolina and all across the country. That there's a lot of student athletes, recruits to pick from.
Just trying to get in the mind of Shena Hollar, where do you draw inspiration? Why did you get into coaching, and kind of what makes you tick and what makes you go every day, knowing all the success you've had?
I've played sports since I was 5, whether it was in the yard or at through rec or through All Stars, and then and through college. And so just I love sports. I love coming to work every day to see my players and see people on staff and anybody here and there. But there's other stuff besides softball that make me tick. Being at home with my family and my dogs, and I'm a true country girl. That you name it, I'm going to do it. I can go do it outside. So, but back to softball. The game has changed. You have to learn something new all the time to keep the game going. And it's not about the wins and losses. 900 and 900 plus, but going to the World Series would be really nice.
I think if you go out to your softball complex, you're going to see a really nice maintained facility that I know you put a lot of time into. What kind of pride does that give you, or I guess maybe how did that even start in just really taking care of that place?
We go to a lot of places that are not well maintained, and for our field to be maintained is good. Like I said, I like to be outside in the grounds and making sure it's ready to go. And but that's just it's kind of like my baby. Hey, it's going to be nice, and just being clean and maintained. And if you go in our storage room, there's probably 5,000 things in there, but everything has a place for it. And same thing on the field. And the girls know that if there's weeds to be picked, we're going to pick it. There's something to be raked, we're going to rake it. And if there's trash to be picked up, we're going to do that. But that's also a part of, hey, they need to grow up and they need to know that and know that this is their field, and they should have to own it and make it look pretty and be ready for the next the next visiting team to come in.
So we've done a lot of looking back now at your time. Looking forward, what kind of goals are still ahead for you in your 23-year run here? What are you hoping to still accomplish?
1,000 is a big mark, but a lot of people are doing that, 1,000. So as long as I'm here, just trying to win a lot of games, and like I said, taking us to a World Series or a national championship would be a great experience. But just being here and loving on my kids and making them mature and grow and be good student athletes. I think in the 20-some years, anybody that has played softball for 4 years, all but one has graduated. So that's a big number. That's a good mark. But to know that if after 4 years they have a degree and then they're ready to, we call it the real world, to go into the real world.
What things do you want people to remember most about your time here?
That our teams played hard, they worked hard, that you come up to me and talk with me and cut up with me, and just walking out in the community that, hey, there's the Lenoir-Rhyne softball coach, or there's the previous Lenoir-Rhyne softball coach.
You've won 74% of your games. Just absolutely incredible. What kind of markers do you have in your mind that you're kind of proud about for your run here? I know you mentioned everybody graduating, but the on the field things, what kind of things stand out the most to you
I think that we have a handful of All-Americans, that we are, we're ranked nationally. So if we went somewhere else, they were like, oh yeah, we know who Lenoir-Rhyne is. So that's a plus. And all the kids making all conference and all region and all Americans, and we, right now we're getting lots of softball players inducted into the Lenoir-Rhyne Hall of Fame, which is awesome, because when other sports were not as good, 10, 12 years back, softball was really good. And so we're being able to honor those previous players.
And obviously the student athletes had a big deal to do with it, but essentially you were the one to put Lenoir-Rhyne softball on the map. What kind of pride does that give you all these years later to know that it's hard work that got you there?
I'm trying not to think about it. It's just part of life for me. Love softball, love Lenoir-Rhyne, love the sport. Just keep them going every day and every month and every year. Life lessons for the girls. I think a big thing is we talk about being on time. I mean, that's a big thing. If you're not 10 minutes early, you should be there 20 minutes early. And I think the structure in life, whether it's the structure at the field, the structure in your calendars, in your classwork, and things that we do. How to remember that that softball's family, and any day and any time, that if I pick up the phone, alumni would talk to me. And we just reminisce of the good old days. But I do have other plans. I'd like to travel a little bit and go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to spring training, because I don't ever get to do that. Go to that nice D1 Leadoff Classic would be pretty awesome. And, just get out and be adventurous. So, that's it.